Drums, please.
Here it is, a groove slightly transformed. Just a bit of a break from the norm. Just a little something to break the monotony of all that hardcore dance that has gotten to be a little bit out of control. It's cool to dance, but what about a groove that soothes and moves romance? Give me a soft, subtle mix, and if it ain't broke, then don't try to fix it. And think of the summers of the past. Adjust the bass and let the Alpine blast. Pop in my CD and let me run a rhyme and put your car on cruise and lay back, cause it's summertime. Out and it's sort of a buzz, but back then I didn't really know what it was. But now I see what happened is the way that people respond to summer madness. The weather is hot and girls are dressing less and checking out the fellas to tell them who's best. Riding around in your Jeep or your Benzos, or in your Nissan sitting on Lorenzo's. Back in Philly we be out in the park. A place called the Plateau is where everybody go. Guys out hunting and girls doing likewise. Honking at the honey in front of you with the light eyes. She turn around and see what you beeping at. It's like the summer's a natural aphrodisiac. And with a pen and pad I compose this rhyme to hit you and to get you equipped for the summertime. Court yet, hustle to the mall to get me a short set. Yeah, I got on sneaks, but I need a new pair, cause basketball courts in the summer got girls there. The temperature's about 88. Hop in the water plug, just for old time's sake. Break to your crib, change your clothes once more, cause you're invited to a barbecue to starting at 4. Sitting with your friends, y'all reminisce about the days growing up and the first person you kiss. And as I think back, makes me wonder how the smell from a grill can spark up nostalgia. All the kids playing out front, little boys messing around with the girls playing double dutch. While the DJ spinning a tune as the old folks dance at your family reunion. Then 6 o'clock rolls around. You just finished wiping your car down. It's time to cruise, so you go to the summertime hangout. It looks like a car show. Everybody come looking real fine, fresh from the barbershop or fly from the beauty salon. Every moment frontin' and maxin', chillin' in the car, they spend all day waxin'. Leaning to the side, but you can't speed through 2 miles an hour, so everybody sees you. There's an air of love and of happiness, and this is the Fresh Prince's new definition of summer madness.
And then there were 2.
Exactly at 5.
Oh, wait. It helps if I turn your fader up.
Oh, exactly at 5.
On the dot.
On the dot.
By your clock.
But, excuse me, my clock is the Echo.
Yeah. Let's talk about Echo.
Alexa, what time is it? There, it's 5:01 now.
5:01. It is. No, you were right on the dot. You were absolutely right on the dot. But
I wasn't trying, actually. Wait, which dot? That's the question.
Yeah, you technically anything before 5:01 is on the dot. So you had you were within that 59-second buffer is where you were. Warhawk rates it. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Is it happy hour time? Is it 5 o'clock that's happy hour, or is it 6?
Well, since it's always 5 o'clock somewhere, it's yes.
Oh, Mod Pro says she beat Dune here.
She beat Dune here. Doesn't she always beat Dune here?
Not necessarily.
That's not hard to do. Although I don't even know if Dune was going to do a show yesterday, but I sent him a picture of the ocean. So that's.
Were you out oceaning?
I was out oceaning. So yeah.
Yeah, I was not.
I
was off San Franciscoing.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. Well, I was on the ocean. I was on a ferry.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You know, it was very reminiscent because we went to Tiburon.
Ah.
There you go.
You did the ferry thing.
Yeah, we did the ferry thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Father's Day for my brother-in-law.
So Dune's not home. Okay, so it didn't matter that I sent him a picture of the ocean. He wasn't going to do a show anyways.
Yeah, I don't think he did a Saturday show. Well, I don't know. I wasn't here Saturday either. I was at a wedding on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Friday I was at the dentist, and a barbecue. So, like, this weekend was so freaking packed, I don't remember it. And then Gators, I woke up literally 3 minutes ago.
Okay, cool.
So there you go.
There you go. Which is earlier than I woke up last week. So that's and it looks like Sparky's not here. So he clearly forgot about any follow-up questions. So we'll just have to move
Was he here
right
last week?
along.
Wasn't he watching like chairs and stuff?
Bob Pro writes that he saw your ocean pic. Yeah, I know he saw the ocean pic, and then he because then he told me he flew over where that ocean pic was. So that was kind of my clue that I didn't need to send the ocean pic. I forget if he told me or not. I never remember if I've told people things or if people have told me things. Other than that, I remember everything else.
Was this on the tweeters?
No, this is on the Facebook messengers.
Oh yeah, I don't do Facebook that much, so.
Yeah, and then I figured, well, since I sent Dune the pic, and I haven't heard from Emily in like months, I might as well send Emily the pic and let her know it was a nice beach day. And she actually replied back and said, well, good for you. And
I mean, she is surrounded by an entire beach. I mean, she lives on an island, so.
She's also surrounded by probably misery and awfulness. So
and dangos. She has the dangos.
And dingoes.
And the dangos.
Dingoes.
Yeah. They did not eat her baby, though.
Yeah, no, they. But yes, he's in New York because he mentioned where he is in New York, and I drove right by where he is in New York.
Why
when I
did
drove
you
home
wave out
yesterday.
the window?
Well, this exchange happened after I got home. So I sent the picture before I left, and then when I got home, he had replied like, where was that, or what city is that near? And I told him, it's Lavalettes between Point Pleasant and Seaside, and he's like, oh, we flew over that, and
you should have waved at him.
I didn't know. I would have had to have driven back there to wave at him, and that would be a long drive for a wave that he wouldn't see. So, yeah, but that's too bad. If I knew he was there, I could have stopped there for a meal break. Be like, hey, can you get yourself to something close to 287? But
wow.
Anyways, yeah. So I was away, he was away. So we not only did we not do a show, we double didn't do a show. So, but I'm here now, and so this week is a second week in a row that I'm gonna have no work on Wednesday because last week took Wednesday off. This
Wait,
week,
you took Wednesday off last week?
yeah. Well,
I thought you had to work extra Wednesday.
No. See, normally I go into the office on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
except for the week of the third Wednesday in the month. I go in Wednesday only, and the week of the first Wednesday of the month I go in Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay.
And there's a logical reason for this, which means that this week would be a week that I'd only go into the office Wednesday. But we have Wednesday off for Juneteenth this week, so there is no all staff in office on Wednesday. So that means that technically I shouldn't have to go to the office at all this week. But I want to get into the office at least once a week because I got shit that I need to do in the office. So I was planning on going into the office tomorrow. But I didn't tell my coworker that because anytime my coworker finds out I'm going to be in the office, he's like, "Oh, you can cover for me, and I can stay home." And I don't know what he's doing at home.
Oh, what if they need you both in there?
So I'm like, whatever. I'm going in the office to do my stuff, not to cover the normal stuff. So I'm going to quietly go into the office, and although I had a feeling that if I was in the office and he came in, he'd probably be like, "Oh, cool. Well, I need to leave early anyways." So I was preparing for that, but instead,
Oh, look, it's so Sparky.
yo,
Sparky.
Sparky in the house. So I say nothing to him about me going into the office tomorrow because I don't want him to just be like, "Oh, cool. Well, then you'll cover for me." He already so. Because that's not why I have stuff I want to do. So if he's there, he could try to work the stuff that needs to be done in the office so I can actually do the stuff I've been for over a month now. I've been needing to build and test this new imaging software. And my boss is like, "How can we get you more time to work on this?" And I'm like, "Hire someone." He goes, well, short of that, hire someone. He's like, "Really?" "Yes. Hire someone."
It's like, no, you have somebody. They just don't want to work when I'm here, so
Well,
kick their butt.
no, I don't want to be too critical of my coworker because I don't know what he's doing, which means I don't know that he's doing stuff or not doing stuff. So I can't. But all I can say is that he has a lot of family obligations that I end up covering it for him.
Wait, he's not just sitting at home watching Dragon Ball Z reruns?
He doesn't strike me as a Dragon Ball Z type.
He might be.
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have the Dragon Balls, right? Those dragons must have big balls for them to spell it with a Z.
They have 7 of them, gators.
Dragons
7.
have 7 balls?
Yes.
They must be fertile.
You know what? After 1 year, if you rub them together, you get a wish.
Get more than that.
No, you only get 1 wish.
So anyways, around sometime after 5:30, meaning after we're both done for work for the day, I get a text from my coworker going, "Hey, I just realized that our boss isn't going to be in the office tomorrow, and it's my daughter's graduation. Can you cover for me in the office tomorrow?" So
Are you going to be there tomorrow?
I was already going to be there, so it's like, okay, yeah, okay. So now he thinks I'm making a special trip to cover for him, but so hopefully I'll get some of my stuff done. But here's what pisses me off is that our boss is a very great boss and a very supportive boss. But
We love you, Gators, boss.
But
Give him a raise.
But he's a manager. He's not a tech support person. So he can't exactly cover for us. He tries to pick up what he can and help out where he can, but he is not going to walk up to someone's desk and fix their computer. He's just not. That's not what he's done. He's a manager. He's not a tech support specialist. So him being in the office doesn't help us when things go wrong. And we've had this problem before where my coworker can't make it into the office, doesn't tell anyone until the day of, and then there's no one in the office, and then the CEO needs something fixed, and we look like a bunch of jackasses not pulling our weight because no one's on site to cover. And I actually made a comment last time this happened that you need to tell me this so I'll cover. I'll go in. I want to make sure we look good. I need to know. And so he sends me this message like, oh, I just realized, our boss isn't going to be in. And someone needs to, be in to meet with the intern and help him. And it's like, no, that's not why you need to tell me to cover for you. You need to tell me to cover you for you because you're not going to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he showed his hand and revealed that he's still not thinking this through right.
Well, you better watch out. If you keep going like this with your manager, they're just going to say, oh, okay, well, then then both of you need to come in every day.
Well, I mean, this is exactly why I want him to communicate with me, because if he makes us look bad, he makes us both look bad, and then I have to drag myself in all the damn time on top of him.
Well,
now Sparky writes in, bosses these days do not know and do not have to know how to do their employees' jobs. That mentality went out in the 70s. Bosses no longer work their way up the ladder. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say that I don't necessarily think a boss should always have. There is a logic to the work your way up, and you can cover for everyone below you, and it's good if the boss can cover for everyone below you. But a good boss, in fact, I might make a bad boss because I'd want to jump in and do the things because I know how to do them. And I've found that I'm bad at delegating. I am absolutely awful at delegating because delegating turns into telling someone exactly how I'd like it to be done and then interrupting them when they're doing it wrong. And then, here, let me do it. So it's, although I'm getting a little better at it. I sent some tickets over to the new guy, the intern, to take care of, and I think he's doing all right with them. So, it's I don't know. But I'm not here to talk about work because it's summertime. Which means more work.
Wait, why do you have more work than summertime? Shouldn't you have a day off on summertime?
Well, actually, that implies more work than normal. What I mean by is that, like, summertime used to mean summer break, but when you're adult, summertime just means it's nice weather and you still have to work. So, but we get, what's that?
And the beach house.
And the beach house, yeah, on the weekends. Which I will say it is nice that we get the summer Fridays. We get, in July and August. We only have to work full day Fridays on 2 of those Fridays, and then the rest of them we get half days. So there is that's nice. Sparky wants to talk about the New York diner story. We left off there last week. Well, that's actually like the last chapter of the story.
Yeah, see, he brought it up. Good job, Sparky, for remembering.
The New York diner story.
See, he remembered, didn't he?
That
you
was
didn't
when
think you would.
That was when I knew it was really over and I needed to fucking move on. I guess so. A lot of these stories I've been told over the past few weeks have to do with a major crush I had on a girl, to the point that I sang a song in front of band camp about it. But
wow, you did a serenade?
No. Remember the whole Johnny Gators and the Gatorades and all the fudge thing where it was?
Oh yeah.
The secret meaning behind that was that
is that dedicated to the girl?
In my head it was, but I didn't go public with that. Although, oftentimes when I'm trying to be subtle, I'm not. I don't know if anyone knew that was what it was about. I mean, she might have been like, "Oh, God, Gators, just get over it."
Let me guess. She went after the drummer instead.
She went after a lot of people. She was the type of girl that did it right. She dated several people in high school. Each one heartbreaking for me.
Oh, poor gators.
Because it's like, damn it, when's my turn? I've been waiting in line but that's not how it works. See, that's absolutely the wrong mentality. That's what's going to get you in trouble. But I guess some could say that it got to the point of a bit of an obsession, a bit unhealthy. I'll admit that now. But what was it that attracted you to her? A lot of things. Well, when I first met her, we were in biology class, and she was she was coloring in a Snow White coloring book. There's something cute about that. She was kind of short. There's something cute about that.
Wait. She was coloring in a coloring book during biology class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't cut up frogs. Did we cut up frogs? We might have cut up frogs at some point.
I did.
But not the day that she had the coloring book.
I did.
And you know, I was attracted to her, and she had this kind of sweet personality, and somehow we struck up a brief conversation about the hidden messages in Beatles songs about Paul being dead. And anytime you strike up a conversation with a female about the hidden messages in Beatles songs about Paul being dead is a good day, and you take notice of that, like, wow, she's not like most girls.
Oh.
So that Drew, that is when I first noticed her. And then our seating was rearranged in class, and I ended up sitting in front of her, and we kind of joked around a bit. And I had a major crush on someone else at this time when I started noticing her. And that was clearly...
wow, he's double crushing. Look at that.
Well, that crush was running its course. That crush needed to end. She had made it very clear she was not interested in me. And that message got to be through a game of telephone between her to the guidance counselor to my parents to be. She could have come directly to me and cut out all those middlemen, but she didn't, because she didn't feel comfortable doing that. I don't know why. All I ever was nice to her. But Sparky wants to know blonde, redhead, brunette, long black hair, cute smile, kind of short. That would describe her. So, anyways, just the fact that we were joking around and she seemed to have fun joking around with me was like, oh my God, this is like a big deal, because like things like this don't happen to me. You know? And so and there were different things that I would mention, and she would respond back. Like, we both liked watching Animaniacs, and we both were fond of Pinky and the Brain, you know. And so we kind of had
Wasn't
this little...
that 92% of high school though?
I don't... Well, but we had a little thing that I come into the classroom and I'd say, "Are you pondering what I'm pondering?" And she replied back, "Yeah, I think so, but I don't know where we're going to find rubber pants in our size." You know, we kind of...
Oh.
So we had I had somehow managed to build a friendship with someone of the opposite sex in high school. Which this was the first time that happened. Sparky writes that Johnny felt like Rudolph. She likes me. She likes me. The thing is that, yes, she likes me, but not like that. And that was what I spent the next few years. That was the wall I spent the next few years banging my head against. So at some point in biology class, I was not good at biology. That was not.
Did you compliment her Did you compliment her on the way she held her scalpel?
That didn't come up. See,
Oh.
I was in biology class, but I was a lot more interested in chemistry. So at some point, and me being the typical ADD student, I would be just kind of goofing off and lollygagging, as they would call it, in class. and so tell you what, we're going to tell the snowflake story, and then we'll fast forward to biology class. And the Johnny Gators of the Gatorade story goes somewhere after the snowflakes and before the New York diner. So we're getting this out in chapters that are not necessarily in order, so you gotta have to piece them together. So one day when I was goofing off in biology class, I don't know how the topic of cutting paper snowflakes came up, but it did. And I have this technique to cut a really good paper snowflake, because most people will take a piece of paper and like cut it in, fold it in half, fold it in quarters, and cut around the edges, and you get this square piece of paper with a bunch of, symmetrical holes cut in it, which doesn't really, I mean, that's fine if you're in first grade, but if you take a piece, now I think the technique I read suggests that you start with a square piece of paper or a circular piece of paper, but I found that this trick does work. You can round things off. So you take a piece of paper, you fold it in half, you fold it into quarters, and then you take that quarter and you fold that quarter into thirds. So you do a flap over, so you kind of got like this like pie wedge thing going on. So that gives you a point that you can kind of cut pretty easily to round it to make it circular. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle because it's a snowflake. So you kind of go wavy on that edge there. So you get kind of a wavy circular thing. And then you cut your little bits out and you cut a little thing in the middle and you open it up and you get a nice looking paper snowflake. And I don't know, there was a reason this was relevant and this topic came up, that I was cutting snowflakes in biology class. The teacher wouldn't agree, but there was something in my head that was like, snowflakes, I could do that. And I was trying to show off for my friend behind me, well, because we couldn't find rubber pants. But so
Did you Amazon it? You can probably find those on Amazon nowadays.
We could not find rubber pants in our size. We just couldn't. So I cut paper snowflakes, and I do this, and she's like, "Oh, that's so cool. That's so cute. The way and I'm like, "Well, here, you can have it." And so I there were a few classes I spent cutting her paper snowflakes, and she liked that, and it was like, wow, I got some more attention from her. Okay, this is good. And Sparky's taking notes. How to meet women in high school? No.
Wow, I just said hi to people.
Step 1, don't be our age.
Yeah, I just said hi to people. I didn't try to hit on anybody.
Well, this is beyond hi. This is at the point now where so at some point it clicked in my head, like, yes, I want this to work. I think I was particularly obnoxious that day in class. Not that she minded. We were getting along, but the teacher minded. And so he, at the end of class one day, he said, "All right, here's what's going to happen. Tomorrow, you're sitting all the way over that side of the class."
I split you up.
And I didn't take to that well, because in my mind, he had just pretty much crumbled this thing. He took this momentum and destroyed it. And so I literally got on my knees and begged him not to move my seat. Wow. And then the next day I come into class, I come up to him, I'm like, "Look, it can just give me one more chance." He's like, just get in your normal seat. Because at that point, everyone and their mother figured out what was going on.
Yeah.
Including
teacher probably knew too. He's like, yeah.
Sparky Toaster writes, "You could have made a paper airplane and flew the snowflake to her. That would have really impressed her."
That would have worked well too, yeah.
Sparky rated, "Wait, so teacher caught on to you too?" Well, no, the teacher caught on that the teacher knew we were joking around, so I tried to split us up. But when I begged him not to move my seat, that's when he's like, "Oh, Johnny here's got a crush on this girl." And I guess he had mercy on me, or had pity on me.
Did he make you move, or did he made you stay?
So he let me stay the next day, as long as I agreed to, back off.
Behave yourself?
Yeah, behave myself a bit better. But I think he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to break this up if this has a chance," which it didn't. He should have broke it up.
Oh, that's good. He didn't cut you. That's awesome.
So I asked her out a few times, and generally she would be like,
"Well."
She said, "Well, I don't want to ruin our friendship."
Oh.
And again, now this part of the story I told on the 5 hit. because, to me, if the answer is I don't want to ruin our friendship, that says to me, well, she really values our friendship, and they say that friendship is a good foundation for a relationship. So that means that I have a chance. She just doesn't want to do it now, but if we're still going to be friends, I'll just, stick
Wait.
around for this. So,
Let me write this up. So if someone says they want to be friends, they want you. Is that how that goes?
well, in my mind, if someone says they want to just stay friends, that means that they're not ready for that step just now, but maybe in time. And here's the thing. In hindsight, that was never going to happen. But I also had to question, how should I have known that? Because oftentimes friendships do evolve that way. You can't force it. That's the thing. You can't force it. But if you really want it to happen and there's a chance, why should you give up on that? Really, I should have just set my sights other places, and if it was going to happen, it would happen anyways and could circle back around. I shouldn't have focused on it all that much.
Gators.
So this is like 10th grade.
Gators.
Yes?
I typed this in Google. I typed this in Google.
You typed this in Google.
I typed it in Google. I said, the girl just says she wants to stay friends. And then auto-completed with benefits. I don't.
The thought
Close that.
The thought never occurred to me.
Gators, if you just had Google then, it would have helped.
So I ask her out. She says, well, I don't want to ruin our friendship. I should respond it with, how about benefits?
Mm-hmm. You should have said
with
friends
benefits.
With benefits.
Let me tell you, my mind was so not there at that time.
Oh, okay.
I was
attracted to it. That I know that, Sparky. It's so funny though. It's so funny that people have asked it before. That's ridiculous.
that is funny.
Yeah.
That is a funny autocomplete. Thank you for injecting a little needed humor to the moment. So here's why the snowflake thing was significant, because throughout the rest of this was sophomore year, 10th grade, and I asked her out a few times over the course of the rest of the year. Like I think I handed her a little note asking her out the first time. She wrote a little note back. I don't even know if I still have that note. There was a point in time I kept those little things, and there was a point in time that I purged my life of those things. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that note somehow stuck around in a box somewhere now that I think about it, but I doubt it, and I hope not. But I could look.
The question is, do you want to look? That's the question.
Oh, I know where I would look, and there's some coins in that box anyways that might be cool to look at. But anyways, I wrote her a note. I asked her out 2 times over the course of the year, and then the end of the year was coming. And towards the end of the year, there were events that happened, and one of them was the school picnic, where they have a band play, usually of students. I'm not sure how you
Wait, schools have picnics? I never had one of those.
Yeah, we had an end of the year picnic. It was in the yard of the school, so you'd all be outside and have a good time and signing yearbooks.
Outside in high school.
Yeah, so I decided I was gonna, this is number 3, my 3rd time. And I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna give this one my all, and then she'll say yes, and then I'll have a summer girlfriend. And of course, in my mind, this I don't know. So I thought, well, she's turned me down twice, so I'm gonna have to really work it this time.
Ooh.
Sparky writes in, instead of asking her out, you should have said, do you want to go for pizza at Mario's down the street this week? And where the local pizza shop was. The challenge here I didn't have mobility. So I don't even know how I was going to work this out. I don't know how people work this out in my class. I mean, sophomore year, none of us are driving. And 2, going to a school that people came from towns all around, we didn't live in the same town.
Yeah.
So I don't know how these relationships really worked.
Over the phone.
Although I'm sure she could have. I would have been following her lead because she had done this a few times at this point. Anyways, so I thought, let's get creative with this. Let's try to, wow her and floor her and sweep her off her feet, and then, she'll give me a fair chance. And so since one of our little things was this little snowflake thing when we were just starting to become friends and getting to know each other earlier that year, I thought I'll ask her out in snowflakes.
Oh.
And this is one of these ideas that it's better on paper than it is in the telling of this. This is a funny story I remember about this because I was telling other girls in my homeroom class about this idea. Because what I did was I figure I could cut short words into, let's get creative, make her 3 snowflakes. No, this took 7 snowflakes. Because I figured if you break the phrase down into short words, will you go out with me? ? You cut each of those words into a snowflake. And Zoe Balls is in the house. Hello, Zoe.
Hey, Zoe.
So that's what I did. I took these cut these paper snowflakes with my patented it wasn't my patented snowflake cutting method. I think I read it in a magazine somewhere at some point. But Sparky writes in Jessica, less than 7 letters. Well, no. So I cut a snowflake and I cut the letters out. Will. I unfold it, cut out will, and then I go back and cut other little patterns around that. And it took me a few nights after school of cutting these out nice and intricate and look really nice. And I remember at some point in the homeroom, I was talking to others about this idea. And a few of the girls that sat near me in homeroom were like, well, this doesn't sound like a good idea. And I'm like, well, why not? What's wrong with this idea? And they're like, well, just saying, will you go out with me? It's so blunt. And so, you should word it better. And I'm like, but that's what fits in the snowflakes. And I happen to have... Right. The point wasn't the exact wording. The point was that I posed the question in this creative way with these snowflakes, which had a bit of a meaningful to our friendship that had started earlier that year. And so as I'm said, well, no, take a look at this, because I happen to have had like the first 2 or 3 of them done and they were in my bag. So Sparky writes in, what was the plan to keep the snowflakes in order? They were numbered. I had a little penciled number on each one, told her to open them up in order. But they were not tied together. We'll get there. So in the class, these girls in my homeroom class are saying this doesn't sound like that great of an idea. And I'm like, well, no, I don't think you're picturing it right. And I pulled one of them out, I unfold it, and it says Will. And this girl that's sitting next to me in homeroom goes, "Oh my God, it says Will, look at it." And I don't mean in a mocking way. She honestly was like, oh my, and she like takes it, shows it to the others. Look at, oh, that's so cute. That's so clever. Oh my God, that's so, and I'm like, oh my God, I actually came up with a good idea. Well, I came up with a good idea if I wanted to ask out one of these girls in my homeroom class, which is probably what I should have done.
You're just talking to all the girls in school, and he goes after another one. That's impressive. You could have had a little harem there, Gators.
I could have, but that's not what I was interested in.
Oh, you didn't want your harem.
I didn't want my harem. I just wanted the girl in biology class.
Wow. No. Never mind.
Sparky writes in, Will, I thought your name was Johnny. No, because will you go out with me? Okay, I guess you're making a joke.
How about go out with me, Will?
Go out with me, Will. That would happen. That's what would happen if she opened them out of order.
Like,
go out with me, Will.
Who's Will?
Who's Will? These aren't for me. Hey, Will. This guy wants to go out with you. That would have. So, I cut all the paper snowflakes out, and I have them in my locker, and then the picnic starts. Now, for some reason, we were allowed to go into the building because that's where the restrooms were. But there was some rule that was set by the hall monitors that students are not allowed to go to their lockers. And I'm like, what do you mean we can't go to our locker? I'm standing in front of my locker. I can't. No, you can't. And who's monitoring the hall in the hallway with my locker? Sister Cecilia, the librarian.
I thought you liked the librarian.
I'm on good terms with her, but she's a stickler for the rules, and I really don't want to cross her because, I had this good thing going with sisters being on her good side. I'm a good kid in her eye. I don't want to ruin that. I don't want her to see me as just one of those hoodlums that are, making noise in her library and going to their lockers when they're not supposed to be. And so I'm like, please, sister, I really, it's like, no, if I let you go to your locker, I got to let everyone go to their locker, and then it's just chaos. No, you can't. She's perfectly...
It's chaos. All these students going to their lockers to get their stuff. Oh no.
That's what I wanted to say. But, it's all I could muster up as a yes, sister. So I'm literally standing in front of my locker, and she's fine with that. So at some point I'm standing in front of my locker, conversation going on with a few people, and so... while we're having our conversation, I reach my hands behind my back and start working the combination lock with a little peek every now and then. And I managed.
Wow, he's sneaking.
I managed to get the combination lock open, and I gently open the door. I reach back. I feel the snowflakes. I grab them. I get them out. I quickly close the door and lock it. Clunk. I was a little too quick and loud with the close, and Sister Cecilia heard the locker close and said, "Did you just go into your locker when I told you not to?"
No, I just clicked it. I'm sorry.
I must have had that look of that dog that you look at them and they give you that look. They're like, "Yep, I did it."
You know what?
I did it.
This is why you give Sister Cecilia snowflakes. Will you go out with me?
Well, Sister Cecilia demanded to know what was so important to go into your locker for that. And I'm like, I needed to get these paper snowflakes. And she's like, paper snowflakes. I'm like,
tell
yes.
her, yo, there's this girl I like. I want to do her after class, and I need to ask her.
So she asks me to unfold them. And
It's adorable.
Somehow I managed to get away without unfolding the snowflakes and showing Sister Cecilia.
Cecilia go, who's Will?
Johnny, this is a Catholic school. We don't go for that kind of thing here. You run along and find yourself some girls to play with.
Yeah. So, actually, that's the main reason I'm going to go play with some girls, but I need these snowflakes.
Yes. That was So, who's Will? I'm glad we came up with the Will.
Had a Will.
I'm so glad we came up with the Will joke. He didn't have a Will. The girl already had that one.
Oh.
So somehow I managed to talk my way out of that without opening up the snowflakes and showing her that they all he had was, you go out with me. So I take my snowflakes, having gravely disappointed Sister Cecilia, and it didn't ruin my reputation with her that much. I continued to build up a good reputation in the library. So all in all, I have no regrets.
I mean, honestly, she probably thought it was cute and all in all. She's like, that's kind of cute.
She didn't ask me to open. She didn't make me open them up. She at first she asked me to, but then I somehow talked my way out of it. So I
would have said, okay, sister, this is my plan, and I think it's cute. What do you think? You get her idea, and then she'd probably go with it.
You
said the thing is, Gators. This is what you
I had no interest talking to Sister Cecilia about my love life. Okay.
Well, it still doesn't matter. You get the instructors and you get the people above you, and you say, "This is my plan. What do you think?" And see if they have ideas about it too. Because honestly, that's how you play the game. You have to get people involved.
This is adult you and me
No,
thinking rationally.
this was
Back
high
then,
school
that
me,
is not
too.
at all. No, I
this
would
was
not have-
high school me too. If I had a plan on doing something, I always got others involved. I always asked, like
Yeah.
the teachers and stuff. Hey, this is my plan. What do you think? What do you think's going on?
Well,
Oh.
I just that's just wasn't what I would have done back then. But
I-
no, that's not. You know what? Certain teachers I might, but not Sister Cecilia. I didn't have that kind of a rapport with Sister Cecilia. All I know is she asked me to unfold them, and the look of like how mortified and embarrassed I looked on my face must have told her like, yeah, let's not press this one. Let's. There are some things in life that should remain a mystery. Let's. So Sister Cecilia did not make me open the snowflakes for her, and I got away with it. So I took my paper snowflakes, and towards the end of the picnic, things are starting to wrap down. I go up to the girl, and I say, hey, I made some more snowflakes for you, but you got to open them up in order. There's numbers on them. And she opens them up, and she paused for, you could tell that she felt something, that, this creativity, this effort, whatever. And she did like being friends with me. But she knew she was going to say no. But she just didn't know how to say no to this, because I did really, go all out, pull all the stops here with this idea. And I think she said something like, why do you gotta make this so hard?
Yeah, pretty much.
And this is one of these moments that there was a period of time I played this over in my head hundreds of times, and I should have said, well, you could just say yes. No, dude, I'm not starting over. Leave me alone, you nerd. She was thinking, well, we were both band geeks, although she twirled the flags. But
she had the moves.
We were in the same circles.
She had the dexterity of the flags.
She was dating other band people, too. She could have. So anyway, she said, sorry, it's no. I'm sorry. But, and so that is probably where I should have just gave up. But that's not what I did.
Oh. Wait, did you keep going after snowflakes?
Well, I didn't do snowflakes again, but throughout junior and senior year, I continued to pursue her and ask her out from time to time. Now, of course, senior year, I did start also, I had other crushes at the time, but I never gave up on her.
I tell you could have had your harem.
So we're fast forwarding. So of course there was the summer before senior year, and the band camp skit and the Johnny Gators and the Gatorades thing, and then things went weird with the other crush. But I continued to pursue this main crush, and she continued to turn me down, and but continued to say she valued our friendship. But probably by the end of our senior year, valuing our friendship was a line at that point. She was probably like, this guy won't leave me alone. I'm so over this.
She did put a stay away on your butt. Yeah, we got to put this.
Sparky writes in, she never had a boyfriend during this time. No, she had several. She would generally date someone for a few weeks and then be available again. So I had plenty of opportunities to ask her out between boyfriends. Dune writes in, Johnny, you ever chase a bid or always a smoking hottie? The only accurate way to answer this question would be to show Dune pictures and let him decide, because they all looked like hotties to me, the ones that I pursued. But I don't, not everyone's tastes are the same. But that's not the only thing it was about. But I thought they were hot. But so the end of senior year comes, and basically it's like if this. I'm not ready to give up. So, Dune just learned the word.
The word hottie?
No, I think the word mid.
Oh, mid. Okay.
Mid's not a word in my vocabulary in that context, but I understood what you meant.
Well, if it's on the internet, that's what we learn it on. It's either internet or Twitch, honestly. That's when you learn your lingo.
I really don't classify things like that. If I like someone, I like someone, and that's there's no mid about it. So towards the end of senior year, she's still going with the line that she values our friendship. So I'm still led to believe that there's a friendship here to continue pursuing that could turn into something else. But it's going to be a little harder with us going to separate different colleges. So I need to make every effort I can to stay in touch with her. So I'm like, hey, can you give me your phone number? And she writes down a phone.
Digits.
She writes down a phone number with digits swapped. But there's a student direct.
Wait. Through all of high school, you didn't have her phone number?
No, I never. There was no reason to call her because I saw her in school every day. See, there are some things that you look back at this and it's like, if you're really serious about making this, but then again, it's probably good that I didn't, because if I started adding phone calls into my persistence, I would have really got myself into trouble. I didn't like the phone. I never liked the phone. Heck, the anticipation of dialing the numbers and what are you going to say is more than I can handle.
Oh, I don't know. I never thought of what I was going to say. I just called.
No.
I didn't care.
No. Sparky writes, and wait, so during this time she was in your circle and you never got to go somewhere with her with others in the band camp? There's another story I could tell here.
Uh-oh.
I mean, we only hung out at school and band camp. I didn't do much hanging out with people after school, and I don't know. We were in circles in school. I wasn't really, well, she had her circle of her friends, and at some point there was a circle that formed on the band trip. And that circle kind of consisted of her and her friends and me and Doug's friend Arthur, because I was hanging out with Doug and I made a point to hang out with her because, we went to a band trip to Disney World and it's the Magic Kingdom. Let's make some magic happen. So I obviously would try to hang out with her, and Doug was tagging along with me. And at some point we kind of became a group at the Disney trip that I'd be hanging out with Doug and Arthur and Allie and her friends, Meg and Nancy. And so a few other people, but that was kind of the core six that were kind of hanging out. And because I remained friends with Doug for a number of years after this, I found out some things I didn't know about at the time. Because at some point, we're all hanging out together. And all of a sudden, they kind of split up unexpectedly, which confused me. And one of them went one way, one of them went the other way, and I kind of followed one. And then I realized, wait, he's going somewhere else. Where's the group? And then I was by myself in Magic Kingdom without a map. But I crossed paths.
Isn't there maps everywhere in that Magic Kingdom?
I don't know. I found a map.
Okay.
But at first it was kind of like the rule was stay with a group, stay with people.
Group or an extra person, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the first person I ran into was Sister Dolores, and she said, "Oh," I'm like, "I lost my group, sister." And she's like, "Oh, we were just going to go see the Tiki Birds. You want to join us?" So I joined Sister Dolores and her friend Sister someone else
I understand.
to see the Tiki Birds.
It's cool.
Yeah. And after we got out of the Tiki Birds, my family came on the trip as well because families were allowed to tag along if they bought tickets to come as part of the band group. So I get out of there, there's my family, so I go and join them. They give me a map, I split, and I kind of do my own thing, and I at some point later. But what I didn't know was that was orchestrated. Sparky writes in the Tiki Birds, that a music group. No, it's animatronic birds that do this.
Wait.
It's a Disney thing.
Wait, your family was there and it was orchestrated?
No, the group of friends ditching me was orchestrated.
Oh, they wanted to ditch you on purpose.
Yes. And it was
because they all wanted to get it on with Doug.
And it was Allie's idea.
Oh. So
he's like, let's get rid of him.
So Doug got his harem.
That's the other thing, is that Doug and Allie kind of started liking each other.
Oh, there you go. Go Doug.
But Doug also knew that, like, my bestest friend in the world is, like, been, well, I don't know about bestest friend, but me and Doug really close, really good friends. I was absolutely into this girl, and then this girl's kind of into Doug. Doug's kind of into her, and Doug's like,
Did you
if
write on the back of it yet?
If I
The paper?
pursue this and he finds out, he'll never speak to me again, which might have been true.
Oh.
Sparky writes, I need more paper now. This is a long story.
You should have used an A4 paper.
I wasn't even going to tell
Bigger.
this part of the story. So apparently, Doug and Allie dated that summer. It only lasted a few weeks or a month or so, though, like most of Allie's relationships through high school. So, but that was something Doug didn't tell me about till a few years
Wow, Doug
later.
was getting it on with your
at
girl.
college. Anyways. Well, I couldn't be mad at... By the time I found out about it, I was over that, and I couldn't fault him for it. But if I found out...
Doug, that's awesome. You go.
But if I found out about it at the time, I probably would have been furious,
Yeah. I would have said that's screwed up, man. But you're into her and she's into you. Go for it.
So, end of senior year, I ask for her number. She gives me a number with flip digits. We exchange email addresses. I get to school. I get set up. I get my computer set up on the school's network. I get my school email address. I send her an email, and no reply ever comes. So I sent a few emails, not a whole lot, but I sent a few, and they never came. And it was
Were
kind
any of
of
them caps?
no. I wasn't mad at her. I was sad. I was
Oh.
heartbroken. I was. Sparky wants to know, what did Doug have that you did not? Let's see. Well, he was a woodwind player. I was brass. Although she did date a trumpet player, so that can't be it.
Wait. What instrument did Doug play?
Saxophone.
That's why.
Well,
His
she
horn
also,
was bigger than yours.
I don't know. She dated a trumpet player. She dated a drumline member. She dated people that weren't in the band.
Basically, she liked the guys with the bigger instruments.
Hey, mellophone's bigger than a trumpet.
You sure about that?
I'm damn sure about that.
Yeah, okay.
She did not. I don't think she.
Tuba player.
Actually,
Oh,
she
no.
did.
Oh no!
But he didn't play tuba at the time. but he did eventually play sousaphone at some point.
Oh no!
Which is marching band tuba. So yeah, she dated a tuba player. What about the triangle player? Well, technically, someone that's in the drum line will play all the instruments and the percussion during symphonic
Kazoo
band.
player.
Okay, I don't think she dated a kazoo player. I don't think she was giving it up. She was just dating. Come on, Warhawk. Come on, man. She was doing high school right. You date around, you find out who you like, and
Is
then
that
you
what high school's about? I didn't do that.
She
but
was
okay.
doing what I should have been doing. I should have been dating around.
Yeah,
getting
you
to
should.
know
You
different
had all those
girls.
girls in biology class. You should have seen. It's like, okay, girls, which one of you would date me over this? Over the snowflakes?
So anyways, I continued to pine for her through freshman year of college, but it was obviously going nowhere, but I could not shake this or get over this. So summer after freshman year, before sophomore year, was also Doug's summer after graduating high school and going into freshman year, because Doug and Robert were a year behind me. Warhawk writes in, date around, find out. Is that like fuck around and find out? No,
College, yes.
it's
In college, yes. High school, no. Well, nowadays, maybe yes. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was doing it wrong, clearly. But all that's important is I eventually figured it out. You get an internet radio show. That's what you. So Doug and me and Doug are hanging out one night. This is the summer after freshman year, and at this point, I think by this point in time, Allie absolutely did not want to see me. Throughout junior and senior year of continuing to pursue her, she, I became something that she wanted to ditch, but she didn't want to be direct about it with me. And I don't. All I know is that she would never tell me to my face, but I was not welcome in her world or in her circle or, within some. So
now, if you had just stayed friends, you guys probably could have hung out more. But
I don't know. It was never going to happen. It really doesn't matter. You see, this is a tough topic because, on the one hand, I don't think it's healthy to stay friends with someone just because you want it to be something more. You can't force that. But also, if you feel that strongly about someone, it's impossible to ignore that or turn that off.
Understandable.
I was only ever going to feel for her.
And you're in high school. You're a stupid kid. You're a stupid teen. And I say that generally with everybody else. Everybody in high school is a stupid teen. We all know this.
I was only ever going to feel for her how I felt for her. And while I did certainly like her, and there were things about her that would make her a good person to be friends with, I was never going to be able to be only interested in friendship with her. That was just not at all how my mind was working. And I don't think we have good answers for people on how to deal with that. And that's where you get people figuring it out, and some people figure it out better than others, and some people turn into awkward and I mean, I'm not proud of all the things I did, but I don't think I ever crossed the line. But some people cross lines, and that's how are we supposed to deal with that? What are we supposed to tell people? No one teaches us these things. No one talks about these things.
Did you ask your parents? Did you talk to them about it?
Hell no.
Why not? Why not?
Sparky writes in, "Nice guys finished last, Johnny." Well, and the thing is that line by itself is not so bad. There is a ring of truth to it.
There's very much a ring of truth to that.
But here's the thing, and this is where I have complicated feelings. Since I'm not sure, because there are feelings that can lead down dark paths. And for example, the first time I heard of the term involuntarily celibate, my thought was, "Oh my God, that's me." Like I identified with that phrase, and then you find out what that movement turned into, and it's like, "Oh, that's not me." The whole incel movement took something and turned into something else, and it's like, okay, that's not the path to go down. And so some of these sentiments could turn people down dark paths. Mm-hmm. And no, I don't think she didn't. I wouldn't say any of the guys she dated had bad boy things about them. I don't know. She just wasn't into me, and that's just that spark that I felt that I couldn't turn off. She didn't feel that spark, and there was no way she could have turned it on. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. So anyways, by the time we reach by the time we graduate, she wants nothing to do with me, but she won't ever tell me to my face. So any email I sent her from college was unwelcome. And she never replied. I continued to be friends with Doug. Doug continued to be friends with her and that group. And so like sometimes I try to get messages to her through Doug, or, like, "Hey, can you find out what's going on?" And so all I know is at some point me and Doug are hanging out one night that summer. I don't even know if it was summer. It might have even been a winter break that we were home. At some point, me and Doug were hanging out during some break from college. Sparky writes in, "How do you know the email was not flipped?" What do you mean not flipped? I know I emailed her a few times. She
flipped her email address.
Well, because the format of the email address was logical that you couldn't flip it. Actually, the other thing is that when she didn't reply the first time, I was concerned. Maybe I got something wrong with the email address. And so I went to the school's website, and back then they would list email directories, and you could look up people's email addresses. And so I looked it up and verified it. So yeah, no, the emails went to her inbox. She promptly deleted them because they were not wanted. I mean, heck, maybe the IT guy she was dating helped her set up a filter to automatically delete emails from that address. I don't. Anyways, so I'm hanging out with Doug, and I don't. You know what? It's funny in my mind. The way I want to tell the story is I'm hanging out with Doug, and he gets a text from someone that, hey, we're hanging out in New York Diner. But I know that's not what happened because we were not carrying phones and there was no texting.
Oh.
So we were hanging out, but Doug had an invite to New York Diner to hang out with this group of friends.
Oh, cool.
And it wasn't clear who was going to be there and who wasn't going to be there because it was like, hey, a group of us are hanging out there, open invitation, kind of whoever shows up.
So he invited you to go with him and the friends?
No, he skipped out on it to hang out with me.
Oh.
And so we're hanging out, we're doing our thing, but we're running out of things to do. And Rob wasn't with us that night. So it was just me and Doug hanging out, driving around his car. And he goes, oh, the group are hanging out in New York Diner. And of course, it's like, well, is Allie going to be there? Oh, she's probably not going to be there. Oh, okay. You know, it's like, well, what else could we do? It's like, and so at some point, it's like, well, I guess we could go to New York Diner. And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, Allie could be there. So I encourage it. I'm like, yeah, Doug, how about that? Let's go to New York Diner. Hey, let's go. Hey, I haven't seen these guys in forever, and, you know, they don't all hate me that much. Let's go. So we decided, yeah, let's go to New York Diner. We'll go to the New York Diner. So we go to the New York Diner. We park. We get out of the car. We walk in, and there's a group of them sitting at a table, and there right at the head of the table, in all her splendor, is Allie.
Oh.
Taking a spoonful of Jell-O, which she just stops with the spoon in her mouth as I walk in, and takes a spoon out. It says, I'm going to the restroom. Her friend Meg gets up. I'm going with her.
Yeah, they left, didn't they?
And so I retorted immediately after, well, I'm leaving. And I turned around and I walked out. Because I'm like, if she doesn't want me around, why should I be here? I'm not going to be a dick.
Well, that doesn't mean she doesn't want you around. They're probably trying to sit and discover, okay, what should we do if something goes awry through this? Yeah.
It was very obvious that
Okay.
that I was the last person she wanted to see walk through that door, and that she was not happy to see me there. So so I'm like, you know what? You don't want me around? I'm not going to be around. You know, I kind of like you, and so I don't want to upset you. So like and Doug said that in his mind it was like the funniest interaction. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going with her. I'm leaving. Turn around, walk out the door, and I stand outside. Of course, Doug did not follow me out. Doug stayed in the diner, and he's my ride. He was supposed to follow me, and we were supposed to leave, but he didn't because he wanted to hang out with his friends. He kind of liked them better than me anyways. You know,
Okay.
this is where he really wanted to be.
This is what you should have done. Okay.
Yeah.
Hindsight, of course, right? Say, okay, Allie, I'll be over here. You know, if you want to come back, cool. You know, I'll be happy to talk to everybody. That's not a problem. I'm not here to see you. It's cool you're here, but you know.
We ended up just not talking about it because I'm out in the parking lot. Doug doesn't follow me out, so it's like, well, I guess I better go back inside because my ride's in there. So I go back in. Meg.
It's like, yeah, Doug's my ride. So yeah. Hey guys.
Meg and Allie are off in the restroom area having a hissy fit. So
they're
I
probably trying to figure out what to do, honestly. They're like, well, what do we do?
So
if this escalates, we're going to have to do something, but, you know.
Sparky Wright said, you can't walk back in now. Well, my ride was in there. I can't just hang out in the parking lot. And Doug didn't have my back here. Doug, if we're going to say, if we're going to fault someone for this, we should say, why in the fuck didn't Doug follow his friend out that stormed out after this bad exchange?
Because he wanted to see all his friends.
Yeah, so
and he was probably doing Allie at one point, so he had no problem hanging out with her.
Boo, Doug! Boo, Doug!
Oh, so you're angry at Doug over this whole thing?
Well, he stopped speaking to me in college, so fuck him.
Okay. So my question is, were you mad at Doug that he didn't follow you out?
No, not really.
Okay, that's good because it's like Dude,
Dude
I thought
was
you might
my
have
bro back
but it's
then,
cool, you
and
know.
this is before I knew that he was dating Allie over that summer.
I
So,
see.
well, I don't know if it was that. By then, they weren't dating anymore, but the previous summer they were.
Well, maybe they're
Anyways,
friends with benefits.
so Doug was a good Catholic boy.
that doesn't mean he's not a dumb teen.
Pretty sure he was a good Catholic boy.
Yeah, but that does not mean he wasn't a dumb teen
Uh,
with hormones.
when you're friends with someone, you understand their values and what they are and aren't going to do.
Uh-huh.
I no, I'm not going to go into the inner details of the confidence of our friendship, but I know that he was a good Catholic boy.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Yeah, hormone. Yeah, Sparky really has it right. Hormones.
it's
Honestly,
not out
whole
of the
time.
question.
Yeah.
But I'd be very surprised.
If the roles were reversed, Gators, if the roles were reversed, okay, think of it this way, okay, and you can kind of do this now, even though you don't want to. Think of it this way: what if Doug had been trying to get with her, and you ended up with her in the summer? Would you have been a good Catholic boy?
At that time, I think let me tell you,
See, the problem.
No.
the problem is-
The problem is that I'm trying to articulate the opposite.
Oh, I see.
I put her on a pedestal that I wouldn't degrade her to think of her that way.
Yeah, well, after a whole summer, maybe the pedestal will lower down a little bit, or your pedestal.
Oh,
will
by
go
then
higher.
I was by college I was ready to get down, but
Yeah.
that was.
All right.
But sophomore junior year, no, she was up on that pedestal that I wouldn't dirty that with dirty thoughts.
Okay. Just wonder, because hindsight, many years later, it's still hard to do. But you think, if the roles were reversed, maybe I might have been a
Well-
Catholic boy, but
Here's the thing: it's hard to say because I just don't see a scenario in which the roles would reverse.
yeah. Pretty much.
And I never faulted Doug for pursuing her, but I didn't know at the time when I would have faulted of him for that. But anyways, so the point is that I have to go back in the diner because Doug's there. I go find a seat.
That must have been the hardest thing. Like, dude, I have to freaking go back inside. That sucks.
So I walk in. Doug's kind of sitting with the people. Allie and Meg are off in the hallway area of the restroom having a hissy fit or meltdown or whatever they're having.
Were
It's
they having
obvi-
a meltdown, or were they just trying to discuss what to do?
Well, here's the thing. So I sit down and at some point, people are trying to like piece together, well, what are we going to do about this now? Or this is a thing now. And now I come back in and sit with them and I'm like, gee, I didn't mean to create a commotion or anything. And Arthur, who is someone who's really good friends with Doug.
Oh, he was your other friend, right, Arthur?
Arthur
Yeah.
was more friends with Doug than me. Me and Arthur were on friendly terms, but we didn't hang out.
You know what? That doesn't matter. So I was on friendly
Yeah.
terms. I'm
So-
acquaintance over a
So
friend. That's cool.
Arthur said, well, you didn't know she was going to be here. And I said, well, I had an idea. I thought that it was a possibility, but that's not why I came. I just came here with Doug to hang out. It's like, oh, okay. But while we're kind of conversing and trying to like calm down from this like meltdown that's happened over there, Meg comes over. And Meg was someone not to fuck with. And Meg's like, Doug, get over here.
Uh-oh.
And she gave Doug a dressing down for having the audacity to bring that guy around here.
Oh.
Basically.
So there was
Yeah.
some serious.
Yeah. So Doug didn't tell me the
Oh.
specifics, but it was obvious that Meg wanted to tell off Doug for daring to bring the likes of him around here. So Doug was like, yeah, she kind of tore into me for that. So anyways, Meg gives
So there was
Doug.
some serious. Allie
They did
was
not
probably
want
like,
me.
I
Allie
yeah.
just wanted me to not be around.
Yeah.
And Meg was going to back her up, and Meg tore into Doug over that. What in the fuck
Okay.
were you thinking?
And
bringing
as a
him
friend,
here?
as a friend should do, in a social relationship, in a social group relation thing, it honestly, I would understand Meg looking out for a girl, looking out for her friend. She did what she could, that's what
Sparky
you do.
writes in, you should have sat in Allie's chair, then she could sit on your lap. Well, it wouldn't have been hard for her to do. She was really short. But no, that would be a bad move. But yeah, I do believe the word "what in the fuck were you thinking bringing him here" was said in Meg's dressing down.
Yeah.
So that was the type of conversation that was happening over there. So at some point, the girls
Eat your Jello.
sit down. Yeah, I should have just walked up. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going with her. I should have just walked right up like a boss, sat in her chair. Well, what do we got here? And just ate her Jello.
Dude.
Like a boss.
Oh, like a boss. Like a Jello eating boss.
No nice guys here. Absolutely not. I would
Who
never.
orders Jello at New York? What? Do people order Jello at the restaurant?
Diners have, like, I think it was Jello. It could have been an ice cream sundae. I remember Jello.
I mean, ice cream sundae, I understand, but would anybody order? Would you ever order Jello at a restaurant?
I recall, like, fancy vessels of Jello with whipped cream on top being a thing that would spin around in the display in a diner.
Oh.
But then again, diners are a big thing in New Jersey. Sparky writes, "Make a last stand that people will talk about for decades, if only."
I'm sure this has been talked about for decades. I'm sure this has.
This has.
Don't worry. I'm sure Gator's made his mark.
I think we finally reached the point they stopped talking about it, so now I can start talking about it.
Are you sure they've stopped?
I don't know. They're probably at the New York diner right now. Like, remember the time he brought that loser around?
Now that Doug and Allie probably has 3 kids in a home somewhere in Jersey.
Yeah. Sparky writes, "It could have been the buffet she got it from, salad bar." No. This was like dessert after dinner type of thing. This was...
You got it wrong. You go to the buffet, you get the giant thing of the chocolate pudding. That's what you do. You don't get the Jello.
New York diner did not have a buffet. Wasn't that kind of diner. So they compose themselves. They come out. She comes back to her seat. Meg comes back to her seat. Somehow the free seat that I ended up at was next to Allie's seat, and we all just kind of hung out as a group, and there might have been some awkwardness in the air, but
so Allie did come back out and talk and hang out.
She hung out. We didn't talk much directly, but
and that's
there was
probably a good thing.
There was a group discussion, and we all participated, and it wasn't a bad evening. And then it wrapped up, and we went our separate ways, and Doug took me home. And I think I had myself a good cry that night because, I mean, But because that was when it was, because that was the most negative direct reaction I ever got from her. That was the, like, loud and clear, dude, get the fuck away from me signal that she ever gave me. There was absolutely no way I could walk away from that with.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
No, there was no end to that evening with that thought left in my mind.
But at least Gators, you got to sit down with a bunch of people and talk and just relax a little bit after the drama. You know, maybe there was a lot of tension to your left or your right, whichever set she was in. But you know what? At least you guys all dealt like adults at the end.
So I think Sparky suggesting we got to go back there at some time. I don't know if it still exists. I gotta pull this up on the maps and see. I'm pretty sure it closed at some point. I don't even remember exactly where.
Like a name like New York Diner closes.
Well, I mean, if business isn't good, it doesn't matter what the name is.
You would think that place sounded like it would stay.
A lot of diners in New Jersey closed.
That's a shame.
Yeah. No, it is not open anymore, and I'd have to do a little investigating to find where the building was to see what's there now, because I don't remember exactly where. I know it was on Route 206 in Hillsborough. I think it was past the Kmart, although there's not a Kmart there anymore.
It's probably Kohl's now.
No. It's I don't know what. It's a Tractor Supply company now.
What? It was through a Kmart to a Tractor. Do they have a lot of tractors in Jersey in that area?
Although the Chinese restaurant that dragged the roadkill deer off the road's still there, so there is.
That's fine. That's fine. A little bit of venison on the side is fine.
I don't think it's the same Chinese restaurant, but there was a Chinese restaurant in that shopping center that got shut down because someone saw them dragging a deer in off them.
Because they're serving venison on the side? Is that why?
Yes. Dude writes in, did you take the turnpike? No, this would be you wouldn't take the turnpike or the parkway to get here. You take I mean, if anything, you take 287, but I didn't need to because I was already in Hillsborough. It's on 206.
Hey, that's an area code in New York too.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's Washington. Is it Washington?
So there you go, Sparky. There's the New York diner story. Did this story live up to your expectations?
It definitely did. For mine.
It lived up to your expectations.
It definitely lived up to my expectations. There was some drama going on. There's some. Yeah, Sparky says good story.
Good story. Okay, all right. We'll have to clip that one for automation and then delete the file and never play it again. What?
Oh. Well, you know, there are people could be clipping it. It's fine.
And so then I went on to find girls at college to have crushes on and never do anything about. I'm trying to think, I only asked one girl out in college, and that did not work.
Okay. Okay.
Still did not have game, and I never had game. That's why I got an internet radio show.
Well,
you only had to make it work once.
Damon.
What's that?
You got to talk to Damon. There's game right there, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I did not have much luck.
It's okay. It all worked out for the best, so it's fine.
And, yeah, everything worked out in the end.
Yeah.
I just, I just didn't date at all in high school and college.
That's fine. People don't do it, dude. Some people just don't.
I mean, I had an internet girlfriend for a few weeks towards the end of college.
Oh.
It was
yeah.
There was that girl Liz that kept changing her username.
Uh-huh.
Made it hard to keep track of who she was when you got
Yeah, see,
drunk.
that sucks. You just have to go by IP address, but IP addresses always change too.
That was...
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't date much in high school either, but, my high school experience, my first 2 year of high school, I dated one girl. Nothing really super serious, but we always hung out every day.
Mm-hmm.
I left that school because my stepmother pissed me off, and then my stepmother accused me of getting her pregnant, and I'm like, dude, she's 15. I didn't get her pregnant. Plus, we didn't even do that. So, unless there's some immaculate conception going on that I don't know about, you know.
Sparky asking, you lost contact with her. She ever married, kids? Obviously I lost contact with her because she wanted no contact from me and didn't respond to my emails, and that was that. There was nothing more to there was no. So I don't know much because obviously it would be beyond creepy at this point for me to pursue anything. I've not looked up her
Facebook.
I've not looked her up on Facebook, but people that you have multiple friends in common with do show up in the suggested you might know this person.
Yeah,
so,
I'm like, I do not know these people. I get that all the time. Oh my god.
So she does every now and then show up in the you might know this person on my Facebook because
do you ever click on it and stalk her? Just look at her profile and see stuff? No, you don't?
Well,
you just don't get curious?
So, I mean, it shows up that we have 8 friends in common. Anytime it shows up, her profile picture is just a solo pic. So and her last name hasn't changed on it. That's the only thing.
But you don't look to see if she's, you know how sometimes it'll say married, single, whatever. You don't even.
Plus, generally people hide much of that stuff to people that aren't friends. So.
Oh, okay, I see.
Sparky writes in, she could weigh 400 pounds that make you happy, John. Her weight would have no bearing on my happiness at this point. I'll say when I see her profile picture show up in the feed as someone that you might know, she looks about what I'd expect her to look like at this point in life, which is, we all have our similar features and look a lot the same. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I went to a wedding this weekend, right? And it was for a cousin. So I went to a wedding, and my old pastors from like almost 30 years ago were there. And they're like, they recognized me. They didn't recognize anybody else in my family. They're like, they're like, Mars, hey, what's up? And they're like,
You almost did it.
I almost did it. They're like, oh, wow, we recognize you. Who are all these other people? I'm like, that's my older sister. That's my older sister. That's my other one. And they're like, oh, we didn't recognize you, but we recognized you, no problem. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, like, people recognize me. They don't recognize anybody else, which is funny.
Dune writes in, what are you saying, Johnny? You call me fat? No, I'm not calling anyone fat.
Wow.
Sparky
right,
writes in,
fat with PH.
fat, dude, not fat.
That's
Fat with a PH. It's
Yeah.
fat. It's fat. Damn.
Yeah, well, that happens. That happens, Gators. Honestly, high school time is a time for kids. They're dumb and stupid.
I mean,
some people love it,
should've-
and some people don't.
I should have taken my snowflakes and went home the end of sophomore year and heck,
Wait,
if I focused on the other crush I had senior year and junior year, I could have figured that out before all the rumors started flying.
So
Yeah, there's no Brian tonight.
So my question is, what happened to snowflakes?
She kept that. What she taught. I will say that when we were in biology class, and I gave her those snowflakes in class, they went into kind of the class her notebook or folder folio.
She might
thing.
still have them.
She did. I did know at times that I saw them kind of drop out of her folder or whatever. She held on to them for our sophomore year. Beyond that, she probably tossed them at some point.
Are you kidding? She probably just has the one that says Will on it.
I'm.
It's like, I remember Will.
I remember Will. That was a fun 2 weeks.
He was the trombone player.
No. That
She
would have
married Will.
that she married Will.
She married Will. The snowflake was hung up in the reception room.
No, I will not go out with you. But I kind of like a guy named Will. Now that you mention it, thanks for the idea. William/Bill. I don't know. I mean, there was a kid in our class that went by Will, but I don't think he was her type. He wasn't in band. He was kind of a jerk. She married Will Riker, became a counselor on the Starship Enterprise. There we go. I will say, some years ago, and I guess this might be one of these things that pop up when you're making Facebook friends and suggestions show up. I do know that something she did do for a number of years was dress up in a Wonder Woman costume at comic book conventions.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Nice. Did she have a lasso?
I don't know. I didn't pursue or investigate enough to find out.
You did send her a message. Hey, is that the lasso of truth?
Last thing I want to do is piss off someone dressed up as Wonder Woman at a comic book convention.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a
I
funny
used to
thought.
tie Catgirl
So then I
tails
go to the
together.
comic book convention, and she runs off, and Meg runs after her.
I mean,
No. No. No.
Gators. I used to go to an anime convention. There were twin Catgirls. I tried their tails together and went on. I mean, you got to kind of like mess around with people once in a while.
Well, yeah. Well, I went to an anime convention to beat a woman,
Yeah, but she cut herself. So
and she did dress up in a cat costume.
yeah, but she was broken. She was very broken.
Yes.
She was a
We
very
both
broken person. So
very.
I wish the best for
very-
her now. I hope she's living a nice, happy cat girl life. You know, whatever she's doing. I don't have her on Facebook. I probably could look her up on Facebook if she's still using her last name.
Let's see. Best way to predict the future is to create it. With it spells capital IT. Is the short.
Nice.
Spark wants to know, how long did you know the wifey, Kristen, until you told her this story? I don't know which parts of this story I have and haven't told her. I don't know if I told her the New York Diner part.
I'll send her the VOD tomorrow morning. How's that?
Oh,
Here you go.
generally
Here's
she-
the VOD. Here's the VOD. Enjoy.
Generally, she overhears parts of things.
Yeah, I
she-
figured you're in the same house, so
She knows these names. She's heard these names, and she
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
that that there was this situation where
yeah.
where people just weren't direct with me, and kind of some.
You know, she's probably still scratching her head. Jell-O? Who orders Jell-O?
Hey, I've ordered Jell-O at a diner.
Have you?
I have. Oh! Someone's coming in.
Oh. Ask her if she's ever ordered Jell-O at a diner before.
They want to know if you've ever ordered Jell-O at a diner.
No.
No.
I don't
See?
know.
See. This is how I know I picked a winner, because
You picked the
she
right
doesn't
one.
order Jell-O at a
You
diner.
picked the right one.
Last time I ate Jello was like at a Sizzler.
Sizzler. You had Jell-O at a
'Cause
Sizzler.
they had it
Oh.
at the kids part of the buffet.
The kids buffet. Okay.
So that's
Okay.
how long
Ah.
it's been.
I would have
Okay.
gotten the chocolate pudding myself, but
So
Did I ever tell you the story about my last encounter with Allie at the New York Diner?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she knows
Okay.
that story.
yeah.
They're asking me how long we knew each other before I told you these stories. But
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
how long it was.
A Jell-O shot. No,
Ah.
because you're still.
Maybe after, I mean,
Uh.
probably living together at that point.
I don't know. Oh, because Sparky wanted to know this story because I was talking about the Johnny Gators and the Gatorades thing, and then
Oh,
that
yeah. No,
you start pulling all these threads, and
Right.
I'm like, I don't know if I've, because the New York Diner story is not a good. Well, they think it's a good story.
I think you maybe told it once.
It's not.
Because it's like, it's just
I-
like, yeah, it happened and that was it.
I don't.
mean-
I didn't look very good at that story.
Yeah. Doug didn't look
I
good
walked
at
into a. Oh, you're right, Doug.
that.
We all agree Doug's the one that did not look
Bros
good.
before hoes.
Bro-
Even if he doesn't like didn't try to do anything with them, but still, bros.
Bros before hoes. Well, no, yeah, whatever. I'm more pissed off at him for not speaking to me
yeah,
than
that's-
dating Allie.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Dune writes in, are you sure it was not a Jello shot? If it was a big Jello shot.
Oh, well, I mean, does the Jello shots
No.
at the Halloween party? I mean, that wasn't a diner.
That
But like,
no,
the Jello shot doesn't count as Jello.
no, that doesn't count.
It
No,
didn't taste-
no,
I mean,
no.
I don't.
They-
That's such a kid thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, but diners would serve them in like you get like those types of fancy bowls or glasses that would have like a sundae in them, but you make Jello in them and put like a big pile of whipped cream on top. That's like I remember. Now I did order Jello at a diner, but I was a kid. Like I think when my grandmother was babysitting me for a week. Why was she babysitting me for a week? I spent a week at my grandparents' house because why? Don't remember why, but
Doesn't matter.
but and that was when the Aristocats was in the theaters, because one of the days we went and we saw that, and I did not notice any blatant racism. It seemed fine to me, but
I mean, I didn't notice it either.
anyways, so yeah, but we like went out.
Funny,
we-
Sparky.
Barrett's on a cruise. Yeah, I don't.
No. Wasn't it years before your mom was like, we're going on a cruise?
No, well, it still never happened. No, there was probably some. It was probably not a fun excursion or trip or whatever. I don't know. It could have even been. I'm trying to think why I spent a week there. I don't know. I don't remember. I remember it. And we did something like every day because, they're occupying my time. And most of the days we went out someplace to eat lunch because, the grandkids over do things. And so there was a diner that we went to the first day and the last day because by the time we get to the last day I'm there, they ran out of places. So we just went back to the – and it was a thing. You walked into the diner and there was the big display case that had the desserts. And I see these big things of Jell-O. I'm like, ooh, Jell-O. My grandmother, you want Jell-O? You can have Jell-O. Let's get some lunch first.
Eat a sandwich
And
first,
so
then get a Jell-O.
yeah, I eat my lunch and then I order a Jell-O, and I think I got a Jell-O for dessert both times I was there, a different color each time. I think one time I had the red, the other time I had the green, and yeah. So Sparky writes, in funeral of a friend out of town. I don't remember.
I appreciate the shout out. Thank you, Mars.
Anytime.
Sparky wants to know if after that night did I ever go back to New York diner and eat. That was not a normal hangout or place for me. I think I only ever been there like 2 or 3 times. There were other places closer to us where we lived if we go for a family dinner. So no, we didn't do New York diner all that much.
Oh.
So Dune sending a link for Jell-O parfaits.
No,
So-
can't do it.
No,
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Well, I had the berry frosty yesterday with my dinner.
Give me the machines
So-
that squirt out the ice cream, and I'll
It's
just
not-
fill my bowls up. It's fine.
Not as good as the orange.
Okay.
No, but I got to watch some fast food employees panic over the machine running out. It's it was, well, here's the thing, because I drive up, they hand me my large lemonade that comes with my spicy chicken sandwich meal, and I see a frosty that's like got maybe 1 inch from the top, and they're like,
Pumping it.
maybe if I close it and open it, and they're pushing the button. Someone takes the lid off. They're stirring it with a stick, trying to get this last inch. And I almost wanted to knock on the window and be like, "That's enough. Stop torturing yourselves and just give me that. That's enough." I ordered the large. I have more than the contents of a small in there.
Just stick it all in there. It's fine.
Yeah. So
I'll
they
shake it up myself.
You
They-
might go Karen on them and be like,
I want my last. I paid for that inch. Every inch counts. Yeah, no, they got a little more out, and they called it good enough. They handed it to me, and then I saw them pouring the liquid batter that goes at the top of it to start a new batch. I don't know how long it takes to ice creamify, but
Yeah. Yes.
But the point is, I got the last triple berry frosty of that at that point in time until the next batch was ready.
person behind has to wait 5 minutes or 10 minutes until it's all ready.
Dune writes in, so you looked like a peep that would lose his shit for a non-full cup. They were already doing this as I drove up to the window before they saw me. So maybe I sound like... Well, they speech jammered the speaker.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I pull up to take my order. A bit of feedback comes from the thing. And when I start talking, I'm hearing myself coming back. And so I sounded like a stuttering mess trying to get this damn order out because they were speech jammering me. Oh, it was awful. But I got my order out.
This guy's out. We already pissed this guy off. Can't piss him off any further.
But I got the order out, and I got my triple berry frosty, my spicy chicken sandwich, my 2 cheeseburger deluxe juniors, and a large fry, a large lemonade, and had myself a dinner because Kristen was at the Yankee game, and
Oh, okay.
well, Kristen got an invite to go to the Yankee game on Sunday, whereas I was
Cool.
planning on heading down the shore to be with my dad on Father's Day. And also on the beach with nice beach weather. And so when the invite came in, I said, you have fun. You go be with your father. I'll go be with my father, and we'll all have a good weekend. And while I'm down there, and my dad's checking the highlights of the current Yankee game that day. And it's like, oh, it's going to be a night game. And I'm like, I don't remember them saying it was going to be a night game that she was going to. But
Fireworks probably that night.
apparently, Kristen was surprised, and her family. Like, what your dad thought he was buying tickets for a day game.
He assumes since it's a Sunday game.
He assumes it.
He assumed a day
can't
game
just
for
assume.
Sunday.
Yeah.
And and so it's funny because I'm getting ready to get on the road after lunch to get back, and it's like, oh, the game starts at 7. I'm like, oh, she's not going to be there when I get home.
Yeah.
That's why so I knew to stop at Wendy's and get dinner for 1.
Yeah.
And
So, don't you text me or call me.
On
So,
a special, on a
she
special
got
holiday.
in at midnight, and you left a few innings early.
Yeah. So what happened? Like we got on the.
Well, they can't hear you. Oh, I kicked a cat.
Oh well, that's fine.
Oh,
She's used to it.
poor kitty.
Hello, everyone. So we got on the green line okay. We get to the red line. We have to wait 15 minutes for a red line train. Now, I forgot, and my parents didn't check, but the red line right now there's a certain part that is bus.
There's a part of track down for maintenance, so you get off the train, you get on a bus, it drives a few stops, you get off, you get back on the train.
Yeah, so...
Yes, everybody says hello, better half.
Hello, everyone. So, yeah, we get on this bus, and, like, there's a huge line of buses because they know that the game's getting out.
They do keep the buses running.
Yeah, yeah. So the thing is, we get on, we get on this part of the road, this highway part that's also has construction. So 4 lanes go down to 2 lanes, and we're crawling. So it took probably an hour to go from Broadway to Quincy Adams. Because Dad took your suggestion. We parked at Quincy Adams
Instead of Braintree.
So it took for fucking ever. Maybe it would have been worth the $60 because it's like parking around the stadium is $60.
I mean, there are
$50.
plenty of parking options, but I think they also fill up. I don't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, also just the traffic.
I mean, we still would have hit
It's-
traffic anyway.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, Boston traffic fucking sucks.
oh,
It's
yeah.
terrible. Ben,
Would Lyft
my
be
brother's
cheaper than
gonna
$60?
drive
Yeah,
to the airport in the morning at some point.
Well,
'cause
that's
it's-
different. That's just highway to the airport.
Yeah, so,
that's,
you know.
that's no problem.
So yeah. Like I text Jonathan. I'm like, we're on the bus. It'll probably be an hour before we get home.
And it was.
Yeah. So I was right on it. But it was just one of those things where it's like, the game was awesome if you weren't a Yankees fan. It was really bad if you were a Yankees
Who did
fan.
they play?
But like, yeah, we left.
No,
it.
it's the Red Sox. It was at Fenway.
oh,
Park.
that was
Yeah.
a big game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so good! Like base
That was a
hits
big
and
game,
all this
damn.
good stuff. It was awesome. But the commute was hell.
Yeah, I can
And
imagine.
it's one of those things where, like, if the buses weren't running, if we didn't have to do the bus thing, we would have been home like so much faster. But it was good, you know. We went to Tasty Burger, and I got the Gorgonzola bacon burger.
Ah.
Just
Ooh,
blue
that sounds
cheese,
good.
bacon, and beef.
You know, it's also good there. The Chicky Parm.
I was thinking about that.
That's good.
So
Ooh.
had a nice.
I
had a
might
nice
get that
weekend.
tomorrow.
Why not? If you're, it's supposed to be hot, but it's supposed to be. It's the first day of the heat wave, so like, it's gonna
Oh,
build up.
That's right.
So,
You
like,
guys have a
it's
heat
probably
wave
the best,
coming.
This is probably the best day for you going into the office.
Yeah.
So, all right, I need to go take a pill.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
See you later. So yeah, apparently I did tell her that story. Forgot I told her that story. Well, I know I told her about Doug dating her, but I didn't know if the New York Diner showdown. I don't know that I. Well, I guess the good part of that story is Meg being all in Meg style. Doug, get over here. The fuck are you thinking bringing him around? The hell are you thinking? Poor Doug. He deserved it.
What do you mean? He was trying to help a friend out, but then messed up, and
Oh yeah, well,
I don't feel bad for him. He was trying to bring a friend around.
Here's the thing. Here's the real question that never crossed my mind.
What?
How many?
Was he doing her right before he met you? I don't.
No.
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Doug would have had more insight to what Allie's real feelings were towards me because while they were dating, I mean, she must have talked about that guy.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Maybe she didn't talk. Maybe they didn't talk about me.
Maybe she just said, "Yeah, I
Probably
have some
not.
stalker after me." But it's
Maybe I'm
okay,
full of
we'll-
myself thinking that they were talking about me. I just have a feeling that Doug probably could have been like, dude, she really doesn't like you. You know?
Then you know what? Honestly, he should have come up and said, "Yeah."
I guess that'd be an awkward thing to tell a friend,
John-
especially
John,
if that has a history
I-
of not wanting to hear that.
Yeah, I have something to tell you. You gotta sit down for this. You know, I've talked to Allie, and she thinks you're stalking her because she doesn't like you, and you just hang out. I don't know how else to say this.
Yeah.
You know, say it kindly. Say it. You know, whatever. It's hard, but you know, if you have a friend tell you instead of the girl just rejecting you, I don't know.
Now, Sparky Ray said maybe she went with Doug as a hint for you. Well, no, because they kept that secret. I didn't find Doug didn't tell me about that until like at least a year after the New York diner incident.
Oh.
And mind you, that was over by the time of the New York diner incident.
So they must have left each other in good terms if they both hung out. If they both
Allie
hung out,
tended
no
to
problem.
accumulate ex-boyfriend friends.
Yeah.
She tended to stay friends with her exes. So, So how serious were they? Because me, I like I said, I
Well,
was
how
incapable.
serious was she with Doug? Probably the same serious as she
I
was
mean,
with all the rest of the band members.
the thing is, their feelings weren't strong enough that they were able to put them aside and maintain a friendship. So, that was just never. My emotions were raging way too much to ever be able to do that. And I feel bad, awful saying that. It's to me, it feels like a wrong thing to say. I am not capable of being friends with someone because my feelings are too strong. But that's just the honest to God truth at times. And I don't know what the good advice is there. Also, mind you, when you're growing up, you're taught to never quit. That if you believe in something, work for it, whatever. But sometimes, what I think I struggled with, and why it's become my motto so much as an adult, is I'm very fond of saying life is a balancing act. Because when you're growing up, you're taught contradictions, and it turns out that the contradictions aren't contradictions. They're just the things that you need to figure out the balance of. And that's a hard thing to teach.
Well, it's also something you learn as you grow up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that life kind of
So-
teaches you. You know.
Some of us faster than others.
Yeah, but we all learn it at some point, hopefully.
Sparky writes in, were there ever times when Doug was MIA and you wondered where he was? Was on a date with Allie. Let's see. He would have been dating her probably the summer. I think he was dating her the summer after my senior year. And no, there were times where Doug was busy and didn't have plans, or had plans or didn't have plans, but I never was suspicious of, the thought never crossed my mind that he would ever
that means
date
that boy
her.
was pretty good at what he was doing.
I mean, why would he do that? But I mean, that's kind of my mindset. Like, it would never occurred to me that he would do that. It would have never occurred to me. Now, mind you, this is also the same Doug who had the sister that had the friend that they tried to set me up with. So Doug tried to help me out.
Yeah.
He tried to help me out. He's like, yeah, well, that's not working for you, but we got this other girl over here.
Yeah, that could
But
have worked out.
Because like I said, I needed someone more outgoing that could have, led me along for whatever I'm supposed to be doing. Two timid, shy people are not going to have a very good dating experience.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was the, those are more chapters of the Allie story.
Al, you should write a book, Gator, of all your stories.
I thought about that. Every time I try to do it, it's depressing.
Oh, okay.
I don't, the thing is that a lot of times I look at these stories, and to me, if there was something worthwhile in that story, it might be the mindset of the ADD kid. So I always try to make it scientific, but it works better when I just do it as a comedy spiel on the internet. So I
so
finally
no gator
found where these
memoirs
stories
going
work.
on.
What's that?
No gator memoirs going on.
No, I don't. But these YouTube videos are my memoirs.
Oh, we just okay. So, 85 years ago, 85 years from now, when you're gone, someone will find all these VODs on Twitch or somewhere, you know, an archive, and they'll text to speech it or speech to text it and make memoirs for you.
I don't know.
There you go.
So, not every life needs a memoir. I don't know. Maybe we'll just put a best of clip show together on my deathbed.
A
and
best
we'll
of, there you go. It's just gonna replay at your funeral on
It's
the
like,
in quad on your, you know, in the room.
I'm dying. Here's my last statement to the world.
Yeah.
A collection of my best streams.
As there's random noises going from the left and right behind you from quad, right?
There you go.
So, some glass going on in the background. Oh, why is there things clanging around in the back? What's going on? Where's that come from?
But it's funny, Sparky, because now I'm wondering, were there times that he couldn't hang out on the weekends that summer and he was probably with her?
Yeah, the Twitch URL of the tombstone.
Put a Twitch URL on your tombstone. I like it.
Little QR code, you know.
I don't know. If they still have QR codes, they'll probably be one on my gravestone.
Yeah.
Of course, in like 200 years from now, it's a QR code that like the URL expired and now it goes to a porn site.
Or you just installed crypto on your phone. It's like, great. So it just took over my phone. Thanks.
There you go. Anyways, Johnny Gators, a porn site. Well, I mean, that's the thing. When you register a URL and then it comes up for renewal and you don't renew it, a lot of times things will just scoop those up just to try to get money on it. I believe I do think I do still own Johnny Gators, and I own JohnnyGators.com for one reason and one reason only, and that's to keep it from Addy.
What about Johnny the Gators?
www.twitch.tv/Johnny. I mean, you could, I don't know, put the QR. To me, it was just a joke that the QR code would eventually redirect to a port. So,
It might. You don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Who even knows what technology
people
will
will
look
be wearing
like
their
then?
VR, not even goggles in 200 years. They'll be just walking by. You know, their eye implant's gonna walk by. QR code comes up. Great. Now I have porn on my left eye. Great. Thanks.
I'm trying to think if there's any other parts of the story I've left out that are worth telling. I think I've hit all the highlights.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, it's yeah.
Well, I will say that was definitely that was definitely a college, you know.
I
High
will
school,
say
college, so.
one other little tidbit I can think that just shows how far I was willing to stretch reality to hold on to that whole.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Because I think this was when was this? How did this happen? Oh, that's right. So after the Johnny Gators and the Gatorades thing, I think at some point when like the whole Other Crush thing wasn't working out, because at that band camp I wanted to dance with the Other Crush at the dance. But
You should have.
Well, I think I already told this parts of the story recently, where I chickened out as usual. Someone else went and asked her if she would dance with me.
Oh, she went out with a trombone player too, huh?
And she did go out with a trombone player, but she was that relationship was over by the time of band camp. And she declined to dance with me. She said, "Oh, it's nothing against him. I totally would dance with him, but I'm just worried about the rumors if I'm seen dancing with someone right now or something like that. And I didn't understand what that was. And I'm not going to pull on that thread.
What's gonna happen with the rumors? Were they gonna say they're together? I don't. It's a dance. Not a big deal, right?
Well, keep in mind, this was the story that once people found out I had a crush on her, they all started talking about it. Normally, people didn't care who I had a crush on. So people seemed to care that someone had a crush on her.
Oh, I see.
There were some rumors about the way her relationship with her ex-boyfriend ended. I'm not going to say anything more than that. But what was the point of me bringing this up? So when that kind of was like, she wouldn't dance with me and there's some weird things going on there, and it kind of derailed my attempts to get over Allie. So I ended up trying to ask Allie out again.
Oh.
And she said, and at this point, it's, the beginning of the first semester, which is when marching band season is. And marching band season is a very busy time in high school, because not only do you have your high school course load and your classes, but there's a competition every weekend. There's a football game every weekend. There's at least one event, a competition or a football game or both. So there are some weekends that you're back at school on Saturday for a football game and then back at school Sunday for a competition. And anytime there was a football game or competition, it wasn't just a football game or competition. It was, we came to school, we did an hour or so at least, or a few hours of rehearsal. And then we went to the event that we were going to and do our show. I mean, it was drill, rehearsal, drill. It was hard work. It was marching band is a very demanding thing to be in. So when she said, I really don't want to date someone right now because it's marching band season and it's just so busy. I don't have time to date. But, maybe after band season.
What? After
So-
band? What's band season though?
Well, band season would be basically band season ended at the end of football season, because we'd have our giant stadium competition.
But it was
at the-
perfect. You guys are already in the same area at the same time. Just follow her out and,
Well,
tell her she can throw your flag around a
see,
couple times if you want.
And that would be the mindset of someone that wants to date me. But this is the mindset of someone that doesn't want to date me. So that was her answer. Her answer was, I'm just too busy for a relationship right now.
Yeah, how many people was she
at
having a
band season.
relationship during band season that year?
Well, that's the reason I'm telling the story. Because then, 2 days later, Pete's younger brother, one of the Gatorades,
Pete.
asks her out, and she says yes. And she dates him for a few weeks.
Wow.
And so at first I'm like, what the hell? She told me she was too busy to date someone because of band season, but she's not too busy to date this guy. Well, someone came up with a explanation for me, and I latched onto it because I was desperate to latch on to any hope. And this was the explanation I came with, because keep in mind, she was in color guard, flag twirlers, and the guy she ended up dating instead of me was in the drum line. Now, the drum line and the color guard were very demanding. They often had extra rehearsals on top of the normal band rehearsals. And a lot of times they had those rehearsals at the same time. So someone said, well, think about it. She's in color guard, he's in drum line. They have these extra rehearsals. They often meet at the same times. They can have breaks and hang out together. That gives them more opportunities to make it work during band season. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The math's checking out there. That's
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
so that was a stretch. I didn't really believe that, but I told myself I believed that. It didn't stop me from trying to ask her out again at least once or twice the rest of senior year. At some point, she said, "Yeah, we can hang out sometime," but that, like deflecting it, like not go out, we'll hang out sometime. But again, and that's where I go back and I think to myself, for how much I wanted this and for how persistent I was, at some point she said we could hang out sometime, and I didn't make that happen. How does that work? So that just kind of shows how not ready I was. How much I just didn't know what the fuck I was. Now Mars uses bleach with color guard.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. No, I keep my whites white and my colors colored.
Now Doug once made a joke to Allie and said, "Hey, if you marry him, you'd be alligators." And she didn't. She didn't.
That would not have.
She didn't like that joke. Apparently,
that-
Doug got the look for.
You know what? You know what though? That's pretty freaking hilarious. It is freaking hilarious. But
There's one other thing I remember, and this is just. I don't know why I remember this, but this is just kind of a funny thing that happened one time that says something about her sense of humor and her personality, and this is another thing that I like. This is just such a funny thing, because the topic of sexual things will come up in the course of high school students discussing things. And so
Okay.
at some point the topic
But
came
I thought
up
you were
of
good Catholic students.
some of us are more good than others. I think Allie and her friends came up with a sexual maneuver called the Hakuna Matata, but apparently Doug was told about this thing, which this might be why things didn't work out between her and Doug, because some people do things and other people don't, and but anyway, I don't know. I honestly don't know who did what, but I do know that even students that don't do things talk. So at some point, the topic came up of how all our nerve endings end in our feet or something like that, and this somehow culminated in the punchline of Allie taking off her shoe and jerking her big toe.
Oh no, not feet!
Well,
Dude,
we all-
run away, dude!
Well, we
Poor
all-
dude!
the joke being that like nerve endings end in your feet. So like, does that mean like stroking your big toe is like jerking off? Is that? But that was the joke. It was.
Oh no!
There's a reason why I've never told that story. It's because you had to be there. My attempts to explain this do not do it justice.
Where's
It,
Mod Pro when you need her, right?
Sparky writes in, wait, she finally gave in and you didn't go out with her? Well, here's the thing. I asked her, you want to go out sometime? And she said, well, we can go hang out sometime. I said, oh, okay. And then I told people that. And so people were like, oh, so you're going out with Allie? I'm like, I guess so. And people are like, well, you need to know what that means. You can't be telling people you're going out if you're not going out. I'm like, I'm just saying I asked her out and she said, yes, that's all I'm saying. And people were like, well, you got to make sure you know what you're saying. And you don't want, and so at some point I asked her, look, when I asked you out and you said yes, like, are we going out? And she said, well, no, I just meant we can hang out sometime. I mean, let's just do that first. And, and I said, oh, okay. And that was fine by me. But then I didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know how to make plans. That would have been when I asked her for a number.
Yeah.
Not the last day of high school would I want to continue just badgering her for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, here's, but keep in mind, I guess at this point I probably knew it was just never going to happen anyways. All that work for nothing. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That's the part of the story that I often forget about. That like she did eventually say that she'd hang out with me, but I don't know if she meant it or she just said it like, yeah, we'll hang out sometime just to make me go away. Like, you know what? It's probably for the best I didn't pursue that, because you know what that would have turned into? That may have been turned into, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm busy this weekend. Oh, what are you doing the next weekend? Or, hey, let me get your number. I'll call you sometime. Or, and you know what it probably would have been? She probably would have continued deflecting and making it not happen. She probably was like, yes, I'll hang out with you sometime and I'll deal with that when that time comes. And she could have just continued because she didn't want to go out with me. The thing to take away from this story is that she sent the signals she sends through all my stories I tell here are very clear. I'm not into this guy and I don't want to date him. So even though you can look at that and you can go, damn it, Gators, even if I guess the thing you could say is, damn it, Gators, even if she did want to go out with you, what the hell were you doing? But that's not why it didn't
Gators
work
is
out.
like 92% of the public in high school were dumb kids. Honestly, we're just all dumb kids at the end.
Sparky asked, does he say yes to hang out after the New York Diner or before? No, this is before. New York Diner is the last time I ever saw her, and we were in college by then. The yes to hanging out sometime was during senior year of high school. So that was... And that was after several times of turning down my asking her out.
Okay.
So yes, that is kind of a thing where I look back and I go, damn it, even if there was a chance, you didn't have what it took to pull the trigger and make it happen. But it wasn't going to happen anyway. So and things worked out fine anyway. So I can't beat myself up too much. But yeah, I really didn't know what I was doing so much that even if, you know, it just, I was a mess. I was a wreck. I didn't know what I was doing.
It's called being a kid. It's called being a teenager and trying to learn life, Gators. It's not
Well,
just you.
yeah, but that.
No, I would beat myself up over that. You
Oh,
know,
I'm not beating myself up. I'm just being honest with myself here. I was a social disaster.
Oh,
in
there
high
were a lot of
school.
kids that were social disasters, Gator.
Yeah,
No.
and a lot of them turn out worse. I'll say, you know, a lot of them are what, you know, turned into the incel movement. And, you know, that's at least I didn't go that route. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. At least you didn't hang out on 4chan and, you know, mess with the teens as much as people did. And
because I certainly had the, you know, the dark, angry feelings, but I never felt. Here's the thing: I could feel angry and frustrated at life in general that this isn't working out, but I would never turn that on to an individual. You know, and I mean, and I guess that's the conflict in life. You know, because how many times have I even made comments in my life about nice guys finish last, or, you know, like the girls are to blame for my social inadequacies previously in life, when really, no, they're not, because they don't owe me anything. But I would never take the step of turning that anger and frustration towards a generalized group and focusing it on real life individuals. That's when you kind of realize, whoa, no, that's not how I think at all. I don't know. I'm rambling now, though, and I don't know if I'm even making any sense anymore.
no, you're talking about life, dude. It's cool. You know, you got it sometimes.
You know, I don't know. I need to get off of the as you can see, finding these pictures and scanning them in has started me on a high school reflection period of time, and I need to get off this track at some point because I can only do this for so long. So
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't think I have any more good high school stories. I think and I don't think we need to go into the story about Patty, because that I already alluded to that a little bit at times, and nothing good came out of that.
Did we ever cover the title?
Well, it's obvious what the title is, because what is the title of the show?
Drums, please.
That's right. The title's Drums
Summer,
Please,
oh,
because it's summertime.
yeah.
I couldn't think of anything, and I didn't want to write something that said. I guess I could put in the title, let's hope Sparky forgets about the New York Diner thing.
Yeah, no, he remembered. I knew he'd remember.
Oh, he came right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Come on, cough it up.
It's still trap. He knows.
Sparky ain't forgetting the New York Diner. Never forget the New York Diner.
Well, there you go.
If there was a motto for our show, it would be never forget the New York Diner. On that note, I don't know. So Mars,
Yes.
you ever ask a girl out more than once? Same
I
girl?
didn't have to.
You got the hint the first time.
No, she basically came up and said hi to me.
Oh.
that was
Show
the
off.
girl my freshman and my freshman sophomore year of high school.
Uh-huh.
She came in late. You know, she transferred to a different school. I looked at her in class, and she looked at me and she said, "Oh yeah," and then we just hung out until my sophomore year. Then I moved to the schools here, and then that's how that happened. And then my stepmother said, "Oh, you got her pregnant," because she got pregnant literally right after I left. She had a boyfriend. She had a boyfriend on her cul-de-sac.
Ah.
That's the thing. So like, she accused me of being pregnant. I'm like, dude, number one.
Did she really think you got her pregnant?
Yeah, she did. My stepmother did.
Was that even a possibility?
Dude, no. Unless there was
Okay,
immaculate
okay,
conception
okay.
that I don't know about. No.
Oh, that's right. You did say it would have been immaculate conception.
And besides, my stepmother was the school counselor at my school.
Oh.
Nothing was happening there.
But
That
somehow,
wasn't cool.
Somehow she thought you had game.
Apparently, I had game. Damn. I definitely didn't have game.
Now, what was the deal with you and Tams?
We didn't go that far with her either. I basically just talked to her as friends, and things kind of like I talked to her mom and stuff. Her mom wanted
Everyone
mom
talked
wanted
to
us
her
together.
mom.
Her mom wanted us together.
Her
That's
mom
the
wanted us together too.
Yeah, her mom's like, yeah, take my daughter, please. And I'm like, I
Same.
don't know. And then I got
Damn,
with
Reedy was trying to hook both of us up with her
yeah,
daughter.
She was.
Probably at
she
the
was-
same time.
She
It would have
basically
been
wanted-
awkward. We all showed up at the same
She
time.
wanted rid of her daughter. That's what she wanted. That's what she wanted.
You're
She
a
thought
nice guy.
Some young American had some dollar. I'm like, no, I just got me a free calling card from my college. I don't know, for signing up for something. That's why I called her a couple times. And I'm like, dude. No, you had more game with her than I did. I didn't even meet her in person. You did. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
she cut herself, but, it's fine. It's fine.
I've been known to have that effect.
That's
no.
nothing to be proud of, Gators.
I'm kidding. She was cutting herself before I showed up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Although she did know I was
Because
coming.
her life was so horrible sitting in that house with everything paid for and getting anything she basically wanted. Her life was so horrible she had to cut herself.
Well,
Damn.
let me tell you, I'm not gonna. I still feel bad for her.
Oh, I feel horrible for her, and I really wish the best in her life. I really hope she got it together, took some medication, did something to help out, something to get her life together. I really hope the best for her. I really do.
I have no idea whatever came of her, but
Yeah. I mean, I could probably look her up on Facebook. I bet she'd be around, but I just don't care that much.
I don't know. I mean, how many Tammy?
I mean,
with
her
that
her
last
live
name-
journal's been gone forever, so I can't check that out.
We should try to get her on the show.
I will be absent that day. You enjoy that?
No. All three of us are hashing this out on the show.
No. You know that. I'm gonna mysteriously
Mars,
be
there's
gone.
no point to the show if you don't show up too. It's a reunion.
No.
It's a
Mars is
hashtag
going to be
Sailor
gone.
Moon reunion.
That was a part of life. That was a part of life.
Maybe we could track down Amy and who else was in that chat room? And
You
and
can do this if you
Psycho
want.
Hawk and Ryusuke
Yeah.
and Buckminst and
if you want, you can. I will not be. I'll be mysteriously absent during that show. You enjoy that.
Oh,
You
come
have your
on.
IRC reunion there.
I have no idea what these people's real names are.
I don't either. I know one of them doesn't live that far from me for a long time though. Yeah. But yeah, that's part of my life that's over. And it's done.
Oh no, yeah, it
Yeah.
is over. But
Yep.
but I gotta tell you, let's put it to a vote. How many people will want to hear me, Mars, and Tabs on the same show?
Oh no.
Oh, come
No,
on, Mars. What are you
no.
worried about? She's got more trash talk to say about me than you. I
Yeah,
followed
you know
her
what? Can
across
we get
state
can we
lines
get-
to another
Can
country.
we get her mom on the call too? How's that?
Deal.
Okay. Her mom would just go, "Oh my God, why did
Well,
you
no-
not take her?"
No, her mom would probably start trying to set us both up. Like, which one are you gonna? And I'm married, so I have an excuse. So you're up to bat, Mars.
I'm sure she has somebody. It's fine. It's fine. Fine. That's
Oh,
enough
knowing
of that.
Tab, she's got someone, but we all
Yeah.
know who she's really thinking of.
Yes, and it's
Wonder
not
if-
Harold.
It is Harold. That's the only one she'd ever. You said it's not Harold.
No.
Well, she's not with Harold, but she's
No.
certainly thinking of Harold.
Dude, she wanted Harold so badly.
Is Harold and Amber still together? Do we know that?
Gators, when was the last time you talked to anybody on IRC?
Well, I was perma kicked ban long before you left.
I'm just saying. I'm not. I haven't
I
talked to
know.
anybody in what's it been? 20
I didn't
years now?
expect you to know if Harold and Amber are still together.
Oh my God, I don't know. I don't even know their last names. I don't care. That's a life.
Yeah,
That's
I never
definitely a life.
knew. I don't know that I ever knew any of their last names.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just type it. You know what? Go to Facebook and type in Amber and see what you get, or Harold and see what you get. You're not gonna get them. It's not gonna be the first. Oh look, I found Harold, the first one. You know.
I'm trying to. Yeah.
You
I know.
might get Tams if you look her up, but I don't know.
No, I have no serious inclinations of looking up Tams.
And if not, you could probably look up her mom and probably find her through that.
Oh, wait, her name was Stella, right?
Yeah, it was Stella.
All right, and she would have the same last name.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I got. So that's another. Yeah, why would I look up Stella?
To see if see what she's up to. See if her mom has finally put her. See if Tams has finally put her in her grave. We'll see. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. But well, I mean, Tams was married for a period of time because
Yeah.
she
might
married
still
the.
be right.
Well,
She get
no,
divorced?
she. Well, when we were last active in Sailor Moon, she had given birth to a daughter, Kayla.
I
That
knew
the
about
guy
that.
that she worked at the Tim Hortons with got her pregnant. They got married in the Mormon church.
Because she couldn't get married, or
Because-
because she couldn't have birth. She could have a child.
She
So
didn't
got
think
pregnant.
she didn't think she could get pregnant
And then
because
she did.
she didn't think she'd get pregnant until she did. Because her and Harold had so much unprotected sex and she never got pregnant. She was worried that she couldn't get pregnant, and that was bothering her. And so I said, well, if you're really A, you should use protection, and B, if you're really concerned about this, you
Go be
should
tested.
go get tested, find out, talk to your doctor
Yeah.
with all that free
Probably
health
Harold
care
was
you
the
got
one
up there.
infertile, I bet,
But the problem, she didn't want to find out it was true because that'd be devastating to her that she couldn't have children. So instead, she'd rather live like with ignorance or with uncertainty because uncertainty was better than knowing. So, but she kept on believing that she couldn't get pregnant, and so she started sleeping with this guy at the Tim Hortons, and
See, coffee brought them together.
and that's how. God, my God, how old is Kayla now? God, this was
That-
the early
You
aughties,
know what, Gators?
wasn't this?
Gators, high school,
She might be in her young 20s by now.
probably.
She might be. She's 20. She's got to be like 20 at least.
Yeah, she's probably in college.
Holy crap! Kayla's like 20. She might be listening to the show and like, wait, what?
What?
Who's Harold?
That's
Not
her,
your
you know,
dad.
her
That's for
illegitimate father.
sure.
You don't remember, so enjoy.
Oh my God, I just thought of a funny, sick thing. You know, when you have all these internet conversations, private conversations, sometimes you find out things you don't want to find out. Because once Tammy said something really weird to me out of nowhere. She says, because like for how much I persist at her, she once said to me, and I don't know, it was very out of left field. It was kind of a what the fuck moment. She's like, "You'd probably stick your tongue up my ass," and I'm like,
It's disgusting and unhygienic.
I was like, "What?" She's like, "Well, Harold did it once." I'm
That's
like,
disgusting.
I didn't need to know that. Well, somehow this came up in the conversation with Amber, because I was friends with Amber at some point, who was married to Harold by this point. And I'm like, apparently Harold did that once. And Amber's like, oh my God, he was sick for weeks after that.
Not pink eye, but in the tongue.
I'm like, what? It's like, well, you know, Tammy's not really that hygienic.
That's disgusting. It's gross.
But that's the... That's one I don't think I've ever told. I don't think I've ever told that
That's
one.
disgusting. No one wants to know about that.
I didn't want to know either, but I found out.
Oh God. Excuse me as I go to the bathroom and yak one out.
Well, at least I didn't start talking about the blinkies.
I don't. No.
Uh,
No.
Tim's had some interesting topics of discussion of the sexual nature.
Really?
You know, come to think of it, maybe I was justified in my persistence, because she was sending me mixed signals.
Gators. She talked like that to every
But-
guy, though. You know that, right?
I know that now. I know that. But she
And some girls.
But I do know at some point that the marriage did not last with Kayla's father.
Oh, that's a shame.
And I know at some point in around 2008, 2009, she reached out to me as if it was...
Oh yeah,
supposed-
she sent you the message on Instant Messenger before it died, didn't she?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, she
Well, this
sent one
was
to me,
years
too.
before it died.
Yep.
This was,
Yep. Nope, she sent one to me too. I'm
She
like,
she
she
did the
remember
round.
me, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, she didn't ask, remember me. She just said, "Hey, what's up?" As if it was like the most normal thing in the
Yeah.
world.
I was
And
like, oh my God.
I guess she's like, well, this dude was into me, clearly. He'll
Yeah,
be
and she
thrilled
told me
to
the
hear
whole,
from me.
her whole story, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think at that point she's cleaning hotel rooms and or no, maybe that was
Something.
earlier.
I don't remember the whole thing.
But
you know,
yeah, she
it's-
was available at that point. And once I
Oh,
told
was
her,
she? Was she want me to jump on that? I didn't even look at that.
I don't
that
know
way.
if she was like going through the lists of guys that, you know, to see if they're still into her, to find her next meal ticket or what. But all I know is I told her I was engaged and I never heard from her again.
Yeah, I think I said a couple things to her, and then she disappeared.
So
I
she
never saw her
might
again. So you know,
her
I'm
disappearing
not-
might have had nothing to do with my engagement then.
You
She
know what?
just-
I'm not looking at that anyway. I was like, oh, okay,
So-
whatever.
So Sparky did not have to once glance at the Cheerios box tonight. Of course, after my last story, I don't think anyone wants to eat anything. So
Oh,
my apologies for killing everyone's appetite for
Yeah.
their midnight snack now. And Dune thought the feet stuff was bad.
oh. I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't do it.
Well, the funniest part of that was finding out that he got sick from it. I mean, that how often do you find the full story out? So if we learned anything tonight, well, I guess we should find someone to raid, and
Yeah.
let me let me find our closing music though. Let's see. Somewhere I have my oh, there it is. But we do try to be educational here. But we should find someone to raid. Let's see what's going on right now. Oh, you know what? Drop Collision went live recently. I'm going to have to watch the VOD. But let's see. Ray Rachel's live. We rated her last time. Man, I don't see anyone. Anyone have any raid suggestions? I'm not seeing any like musicians that we rated in the past. And I mean, we
don't really
could
have
raid.
anybody. I see October Ember Music always like Disney gift subs that I've never really watched. That's the thing. I've never watched them, but they're always giving me gift subs. What does that mean?
They want you to watch.
Apparently, I'm like, oh, thanks for the gift sub, and I'm like, okay, and they're not bad. They're pretty good. It's just I'm doing other things at the time. They're like, oh, I feel horrible. You go in there and thank you for the gift sub, and then you got to do something else because it's like it's still open. You're like, oh, I feel horrible about it most of the time.
Well, I guess we could raid Ray Rachel again because we're we don't have many other options. But I think we've all learned a lot here tonight. So Mars, what have you learned here tonight?
I've learned only crazy people order Jell-O at a cafe, and you chose the right one.
And I learned that when you're gonna get a little kinky, hygiene's very important, or else you might want to stock up on some Maalox.
Yeah.
And I also what else did I learn? I also learned what happens at the New York diner stays at the New York diner.
Yes. Yes.
All right. I don't know. Did Sparky learn anything, or did we chase him off? No. I learned Johnny can pursue, but can't cross the finish line.
Oh, snaps.
Oh, that's sad but true. That's where's my
There you go.
Yeah. Well, not in high school or college, at least. But
And they can play the banjo.
oh yeah. Anyone else coming to the realization that AI is a bunch of bullshit? I don't think it's quite the magic that they're trying to make us think it is.
Someday.
And the gasoline recipes are the first clue.
I like the glue on the pizza.
That was a good one too.
Yeah.
Someone actually tried that one. It wasn't good. It wasn't
Well,
awful.
we all ate Elmer's glue as kids.
Yeah. Sparky writes in, AI would be 10 times worse than social media ever was. Well, no, I think AI is just an extension of it's just a natural evolution of automation to more advanced versions of it. It's not anything new. It's not anything magical. It's just the next steps in automation technology. And automation brings good things, and automation brings bad things. And it's all in how you use it. But I think it's trying to be promoted as if it's like some kind of a magical wizardry. Here's the thing. AI is a lie. It's not intelligent. It doesn't actually self-learn. It requires a lot of... It only does what it can do, and it basically does it with data that it's been fed. So I think there's a lot of misconceptions as to what it is. I think it's not nearly as scary or freaky as people are thinking it is. But let's see. Zoe writes in, AI is evil. It'll be the end of us. People blindly believe everything it says, and that is dangerous. Well, that's not AI. That's people. We're going to be our own downfall. And we don't even need AI to do it. I mean, let's face it. Someone's going to push a button. That's going to be the end. But good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
When AI can tell me the next 6 lottery numbers, it will be a good thing. You get a nickel, and you get a nickel, and you get a nickel, because man, that's gonna the lottery's gonna be split like 1 million ways.
Yes.
George Burns pushes the button. All right, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and raid Ray Rachel, and I'll be back here next week. Now, Brian wasn't able to make it here, but Brian's also unavailable next week. So Mars, I could be here next week, and you be here next week.
I don't know until the day the day I'm here. Honestly, that's the
All
funny part about that one. But yeah, I might be here. We'll see.
All right. Well, stay tuned, and
Yeah.
and if we're not here, I might remember to send a tweet that we're not going to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead. Let's raid Ray Rachel, and we'll all see you next week.
Yep.
And
Everybody be
thank
careful
you
what
all.
you eat.
Thank you for coming along on our journey here. And remember, as cute as the girls think the snowflakes are, that's just not enough. Maybe that's what I learned.
I was just saying you could have had your harem there, and you know.
I could have. The girls in homeroom kind of liked me.
There you go.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Everything off it. And it's like a fresh slate. Not necessarily deleting the
That was